Arkansas did what they needed to do. They handled business, got out of there pretty injury free for the most part, but atmosphere was great. Was glad to see both sides, Arkansas and Arkansas State, bring fans in. Had Little Rock sold out, had Little Rock rock. Absolutely beautiful and great atmosphere. Great way to make history. Gotta say that. Now that this game is over with, I'm rooting for both sides. I'm rooting for Arkansas to go on into conference, and I'm rooting for Arkansas State to go into conference. And I hope that they play absolutely lights out, because this is a really good Arkansas State team. And this just showed Arkansas some things that they are okay at, and there's things that they need to work on. Right along with Arkansas State, both teams to me are pretty good, but both teams got a lot of things they must go in and work on. But with that being said, let's talk about Arkansas and the Arkansas State ball game. So we're going to talk about Arkansas State. Arkansas State came out, they scrapped pretty good. Arkansas State scrapped. They actually got to the quarterback a few times, but he was able to elude it, which is good for Arkansas. But they was able to put pressure on Taylor Green a little bit, but they was not able to get any sacks. That's good. But they was able to pick off Taylor Green not once, but 2 times. And to me, it was the first one, I don't know what Taylor was looking at. Taylor he stared the receiver down, which he had a problem with doing last year, staring down receivers and throwing the ball. Just like, you can't do that. And you see a team from the Sun Belt was able to read your eyes. Imagine how it's going to be in the SEC. Hold them off a little bit longer before you decide to make that pass. Hold that linebacker or safety off just a little bit longer, but he didn't. He threw it right into double coverage, try to put it in this little tight window. But I'm not too upset with it, due to the fact that you got to try it to see what you can and can't do. So we was already handling the game pretty good at them. I think like 28-7, 28-14, something like that. So the game was being handled, but it's just in that moment I was upset and mad. But now I look back on it, I'm like, okay, maybe I see what he was trying to do. Maybe he could see if he could fit it in that window. But if he could have had it, but it's don't allow the linebacker to read your eyes. So that happened. He threw that interception. The second one was, I think it was the receiver did not. It was Jalen Brown. He didn't finish his route. He didn't go attack the ball. The DB was able to come through and break up on the pass and pick it off. And it was sometimes we played lazy and played like we didn't want to be out there. And that was really frustrating at that point. But other than that, we did what we really needed to do against Arkansas State. Taylor Green on the offensive side now, talking about Arkansas State defense. They go to Arkansas offense. Arkansas offense looked okay. Nothing really crazy to me. Taylor Green, 17 of 26, 239, 4 TDs, the 2 interceptions. Had a QBR of 95.5, so I played a fairly well game. Then you got KJ Jackson, backup, came in 3 for 3, 70 yards, 0 TD, 0 interception, 99.7. KJ, when he got in, really threw 3 really good passes. Those passes KJ threw made me feel pretty confident going into next season with KJ being our quarterback, because I think Arkansas State still had their starters out there when KJ came in. But it looked pretty good to see KJ march. They marched down the field. They was on that 2-yard line, and they marched all the way down and scored a touchdown. That was really nice to see. Then also Taylor Green, he had 9 carries, 151 yards. Mike Washington, 9 carries, 116 yards. You didn't really see much running this game. We only ran the ball a total of 29 times. We passed the ball a total of 29 times. So I guess you can say we was balanced. We passed the 29, ran the 29. But if you're looking at the numbers, man, Mike Washington and Braylon Russell, 9 and 5 apiece. Rodney Hill had a carry. KJ Jackson had a carry for 6 yards, and that's when they went down and scored. But other than that, we didn't really run the ball too crazy. We ain't really feeding just one person just that much. So it's like, dang, how can you really get in a rhythm and things like that? But I'm surprised we're not seeing Braylon Russell as much. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's banged up, he's hurt or what. But it's like we're not really seeing much of Braylon Russell. Mike Washington finally broke one. Was exciting to see. When Mike runs effortless. Rohan Jones finally showed up on the receiving side. He had 2 catches for 74 yards. Omega Blake did Omega Blake things, 5 for 64. Braylon Sharp. And they, like I said, Rohan had a touchdown. Omega Blake had a touchdown. And Raylan Sharp, 2 for 43 and a touchdown. CJ Brown, he did okay. 3 catches, 36. Jaden Platt, 2 for 31. Jalen Brown, 3 for 30. Braylon Russell 2 for 17, and then Andreas Paskey 1 for 14. Total of 309 passing yards. All right, let's go talk about Arkansas State offense. Arkansas State has an electric quarterback, Jalen Renner. He went 21 of 33, 125 yards passing, 1 TD, 2 interceptions, 42.1 QBR. You expect playing against the SEC defense. Arkansas State does not fare well when it comes to playing teams in the SEC. You see when they played Georgia, Alabama, they almost beat Mizzou. So, I mean, it's what happened to Arkansas State was expected. When you a team like Arkansas, you need to go in and handle business like they did. But Arkansas State, I believe they're going to go into the Sun Belt and do really well. You got guys like Jalen Renner, and their guy, got hurt. The running back, Jaquez Cross, out of Fordyce, he got hurt towards ACL in practice, so he wasn't able to perform in his game. But Jalen pretty much took over the run, 15 for 38. Then the next cat was Kenyon Clay, 12 for 28. Devin Spence had 5 for 31, and Cameron Thomas 5 for 35. They rushed for a total of 153 rushing yards. Jalen threw for 125. And then receivers, man, they got some really slick receivers. You got Chauncey Cobb, 4 for 50. Corey Rucker, this is their go-to guy, 3 for 20. And they had a couple guys, Nene Burris, 1 for 15. Keon Clay, 4 for 15. Devin Spence, 4 for 14. Really giving it to the running backs a lot, as you can tell. And also Corey Rucker and Chauncey Cobb, those were the guys doing their thing. Arkansas State took opening kickoff that we kicked off to them to the crib. Arkansas State did do that. But like I say, Arkansas State has those guys. They have electric guys, smaller guys, but they're really electric. And then that's their offense. They're not really they run an offense it's almost like the RPO. But they do have a go-to guys, Jalen, and then Cross was out. That's normally a go-to running back. But I like Chauncey Cobb also for Arkansas State. He's a little guy, but he has heart, and I like that because I was a little guy when I played ball. And I always think just because you're small, you can't really play the game, but it doesn't really matter about the size, but it matters the size of the heart that you have when you're playing this game of football. And that's what it was about Chauncey Cobb. Chauncey Cobb is really a ball player. I like him a lot. And I just hope Arkansas State does really good moving into the Sun Belt and any other opponent that they have outside of the Sun Belt Conference. And I'm going to talk about Arkansas's defense. I'm not really sold on Arkansas secondary. I just really am not sold on it. We do too much holding because we did too much holding. They get route open. They're getting 7 yards. We don't look good man to man. And this is against the Sun Belt team. Coverage be open and things like that. I'm not really sold on this secondary yet. And then the D-line, man. We did have 4 sacks. I'm not going to take that away. We did have 4 sacks, but it looked hard. It was a hard 4 sacks to get. And I'm like, man, we SEC. You think about when Bama and Georgia played these guys. They're getting back there. And it's just like, I see this team, Arkansas State, I'm like, Arkansas, you should be dominating these guys. Because when you're sitting there and you're watching the game live, it's different than watching it on TV. You can see things look a lot more clear in real life. And that's how it was sitting there. And this defense, it kind of scares me a little bit. Don't get me wrong, they make good plays, but I'm thinking about when we playing teams like Tennessee. They're clicking pretty good. We're playing a team like South Carolina. They're clicking pretty good. We're playing a team like Ole Miss. They're clicking pretty good. Like playing teams like that, they're gonna pick that defense apart. You're not getting to the quarterback quick enough. You're not covering up your in the secondary like you need to. You're not pocketing your guys like you need. Because look at the penalties, right? Penalties. We had 8 penalties, 74 yards. We can't do that, man. Just cannot do that in the SEC. And that's what I was seeing. A lot of people gonna look at this game. Oh, they covered the spread. They did more than was. But I'm looking at it from a holistic point of view. This is Arkansas State versus Arkansas. I knew we was gonna handle business, but we did not do it as cleanly as I think we needed to. We got Ole Miss next week. We got Ole Miss. We have to play a lot more cleaner, For the most part, we kind of ran the ball okay. We didn't even run the ball, to me, as good as we needed to. Taylor Green kind of created space with his legs, but all in all, Washington had that one big run, that 53-yard run. But it's just like, I don't think we're clicking how we need to. I think we still got a little work to do. All in all, I still think we got a lot of work to do, all in all. And I don't know. We just got to wait and see. I think this is something about Xavier Sorey was a little banged up, but I think he's gonna be fine for the game this weekend. But all in all, man, my takeaway from Saturday's game against Arkansas State. Amazing history made, amazing crowd, absolute blast. Enjoyed the game. Both teams got a lot to work on, but you can pull it from both sides now. The game is over with. Hope the best for Arkansas State and Coach Butch. And of course, my Razorbacks, we got a lot of work to do. Seen a lot of things I did not like. Seen a lot of things we must work on. Before I end it, I do like our third down. We was 5 for 6 on third downs. I do like that. That's really nice. 5 for 6 on third downs. I like that. But all in all, great game, great atmosphere. Hogs, you won a game that you were supposed to win. You shut Arkansas State out the last 2 quarters. That's really big. So let's keep moving forward. We got Ole Miss next week. We know the competition just gets a lot more stiffer from here. So how about it? Go Hogs and on to next week.